Orwell warned us that there's no swifter route to the corruption of thought than through the corruption of language. Now, he might as well have been talking about the Biden White House and their media pals. Now, let us explain. What happened at Mar-a-Lago was rightfully described as a raid. But to former FBI honcho Frank Figliuzzi, oh, they can't say that. Keep your eye on the banner at the bottom of the screen.
Agents, by the way, don't like the word raid. They don't like it. The word raid, they don't like it. They want to say they executed a search warrant. All of that going on, meticulous searching. Even, I've seen situations where devices, electronic devices, thumb drives are being searched for, and they actually have dogs.
They made that raid banner disappear pretty quickly, didn't they? And their other lap dogs, they quickly got the message.
It's all legal. It's all lawful. It's not a raid.
It wasn't a raid on his house. No doors were kicked down. And
Trump talks about a raid on his home. No, man, there was no raid on your home.
Oh, really? They were all invited in. Let's have coffee. But this isn't just an isolated incident. Think of their inability to define woman, or how they pervert language about the economy. The last 10 times this nation saw 2 quarters of negative growth, it was described as a recession, but this White House had other thoughts.
In terms of the technical definition, it's not a recession.
That is not the actual definition of a recession.
I would really object to this kind of semantic claim.
And now they've moved on to inflation readings. The real inflation measure, the one felt by Americans at the grocery store gas pump, is 8.5%. But according to Biden?
I just want to say a number. 0. Today, we received news that our economy had 0% inflation in the month of July. 0%.
Zero common sense. And of course, the press, they just echo it.
Inflation drops to 0 in July due to falling gas prices. Inflation drops to 0. Democrats might just be able to be like, you know what? It has been bad for a while with inflation, but we're on the right track now.
It's actually a 0% increase since last month. Inflation is still at its highest level in decades. And the administration is trying the same tricks with wages. They've declined 3% in July, but from a year ago. But KJP and Ron Klain want you to think that Americans are making more money. Joining me now is Larry Kudlow, host of Kudlow on Fox Business. Larry, it is Orwellian, the manipulation of language, when real people are suffering with food prices up 9% year over year, but they keep trying the same tricks.
Yeah, food prices up 14% last 3 months. So, okay, July was flat because they got lower gasoline prices. June was up 17%, and May was up 12%. So if all those mean zero inflation, I don't know, you're going to have to redefine it. If we're declaring victory with 8.5% inflation, I don't really want to go there. It's beyond Orwellian. But look, they denied there was a recession with 2 straight quarters of GDP decline. And the latest one, Laura, is really the Inflation Reduction Act, right? Except that major economic models from the government and the private sector said, wait a minute, there is no inflation reduction. Or we're not taxing people under $400,000 a year. But in fact, we learn as we dig into the tax increases, they are going to hit people not only under $400,000, but under $200,000. So this crowd is kind of making a career out of, shall we say, cognitive dissonance or fraudulent statements.
Well, Larry, this new poll, to your point, out from The Economist, shows that people are agreeing, saying that 40% of Americans think the climate and energy bill will increase inflation. Only 13% say it'll decrease it. So the language manipulation that they think works, in the end, people have the lives they have, right, Larry? I mean, they're either doing better, and they know they're doing better, or they're not doing better, and they're getting poorer. And they know right now they're getting poorer month to month to month in this administration, period.
Yeah. Yes, well, grocery prices go up, as you said. Gas prices cut a break, but they've been going up for 18 months or 16 months. Real wages have been falling. I mean, they know they're making more, but it's buying less, which is probably the best definition of inflation. It means your dollars are worth less. So they just know. I mean, they don't need Biden to tell them or his economists. They know with their own eyes and their own kitchen table discussions and what they have to deal with at the gas station and the grocery store. Look at the other one's the IRS. Let's look at this IRS story. I mean, you've been talking a lot, as we all have, about the outrageous break-in at Mar-a-Lago. Okay, the IRS is making one of the greatest power grabs I have ever seen in governmental history, with 87,000 new agents. The burden of that, according to the government's economists, will fall on people making under $200,000 a year. Not rich people, as Chuck Schumer said today. It's going to call middle class and lower income people. Now, Laura, talk about a power grab from the deep state. Did you see this story? It's on the Fox Business website. They're advertising job postings on the internet, okay? Legally allowed to carry a firearm. Major duties include carrying a firearm and be willing to use deadly force if necessary, and be willing and able to participate in arrests, execution of search warrants, and other dangerous assignments. These are the IRS agents. They're supposed to be tax accountants looking at your tax returns, and that's bad enough. These guys, deadly force. I love this. You got to look at this story and report on it. It just goes to show you more lies, more fraud. The IRS is not going after tax cheats.
Well,
they're going after middle-income people and small businesses. This is insanity.
Yeah. And Larry, maybe we should send all the IRS agents down to the border, finally get that thing all squared away with that firepower. Larry, thank you for alerting me to the great Fox Business piece. We're all over it. Thank you so much. And thank you for staying up with us tonight. It's late for Larry. Sometimes he works all the time.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.